Oh, O'Hare, I have so many memories here. After 4 years, I'm finally back. Took me long enough. Let's fly. Hey guys, it's been a while, but I'm diving right back in with another international flight. As you probably noticed, we are trekking through the terminals of Chicago O'Hare International, as I do have a 5-hour layover here before I hop on the largest passenger aircraft type in the world, the mighty double-decker Airbus A380. So this is going to be quite a special flight for me, not only because it's my first trip on the A380 Jumbo, but it's also my first trip on British Airways, known for being England's flag carrier and a significant member of the One World Alliance. As sort of stated in the intro, I used to fly through O'Hare Airport a lot, but lately I've been using other airports more often, such as Denver, and I haven't seen this one since a few years back. Sure, I did cover a flight out of Chicago in my last video, but that was from the much smaller Midway Airport. This is O'Hare, and it is completely different. It is enormous and is a major hub for two of the big three US legacy carriers, American and United. It consists of 4 passenger terminals, 1, 2, 3, and 5. 5 is the international terminal, and that's where we'll be flying out of today, but I'm not going there quite yet. Something about this airport just hits different for me personally. I don't know if it's the interesting architecture of Terminal 1, or maybe just the fact that the flight I took that sparked my love for aviation was out of this airport, but whenever I'm planning to do a trip, I hope to get a layover here. These are the B gates, which make up about half of Terminal 1. It's dominated by United, and I'm not flying out of here, but I wanted to see it again, specifically for one thing. I'll get to that later, but I'm glad this terminal looks exactly the same as I remembered. No doubt it's my favorite terminal at O'Hare, and that reminds me that I should start flying United again. Every United Airlines departure will be out of one of these gates, either B or C, but not all of the United arrivals will, as international arrivals need to drop passengers off at customs, which are in Terminal 5. And now, we'll be heading downstairs to the tunnel connecting the B and C concourses. This is what I came to Terminal 1 for.
Okay, so there's literally no reason for me to be down here, but I gotta see it. If I'm going to O'Hare, I'm seeing this.
Okay, we are back to the B gates. Glad I could stop by that underground tunnel again. But for now, it's time we say goodbye to the kingdom of United Airlines and make our way to the international terminal. Unlike the first 3 terminals, which are possible to walk between, Terminal 5 is positioned in a different area. It isn't possible to walk there from here, so normally one would take the airport transit train. That's what I thought I'd be doing, because that's what I did in the past to get to Terminal 5. But that was before I found out about a much more convenient way to do so. You see, if you take the train, it drops you off at the entrance to Terminal 5, which means you need to go through security. And that could be a hassle for those with layovers, like me. So instead, I took the transit bus, which drops passengers off right at gate M13 of Terminal 5. I didn't know this existed before, so maybe it's new, I don't know. What I know for sure is that not only it saved me some sanity, but it also allowed me to get some of the best shots of O'Hare traffic I could imagine. Welcome to Concourse M, aka Terminal 5. This is where all the international arrivals will end up, along with multiple international departures. As I said before, the bus dropped us off at gate M13. So when I entered this building, I was surprised with what I saw, because coincidentally, I had flown out of gate M13 previously in the year 2018. but the area looked completely unfamiliar. It was definitely not the same location as the M13 I remembered. And then I remembered that Terminal 5 was recently expanded, with the addition of around 10 gates, I believe. And I guess that along with that, they decided to rearrange some of the gate numbers, which I found quite interesting. And we'll be taking a look at the new extension today as well. But on my way, I spotted what I'd consider an interesting variety of aircraft, including this Turkish Airlines 777-300 from Istanbul, this Aer Lingus A330-300 headed for Dublin, this Icelandair 737 MAX 9 headed for Reykjavik, this Qatar Airways 777-300 headed for Doha. Yes, you get the point. Now this is what I love about O'Hare Terminal 5. We got airlines from Europe, South America, Africa, the Middle East, Asia, and even the South Pacific, all coming in straight to this very terminal. It's just amazing in my opinion, how this terminal is like a gateway to the world. Sure, O'Hare Terminal 5 isn't the only one in the world like this, but having flown out of here a few times, I appreciate it a lot. Now here we are at gate M17, my A380 is coming in right now. This is actually where M11 used to be, but yeah, here she is, Golf X-Ray Lima Echo Juliet, a 7-year-old Airbus A380-800 at the time of filming. This one happens to be one of the newer A380s in the fleet, but the onboard product shouldn't be any different from the rest. Like I said, this is my first time on an A380 Jumbo, so I'm super excited for this flight. I took this flight in March, so it got dark pretty quickly, but my phone camera still managed to catch this Jumbo very well. This was about the time the Swiss Airlines flight from Zurich taxied behind us. It was badly delayed for some reason. Glad I'm not on that one. But now it is boarding time. Unfortunately, I did not get the upper deck. I'm on the lower deck today, but it'll be fine. As I do, in fact, have a window seat. My seat is 28K for today. First impression of the interior, it looks tremendous. The cabin is highly spacious and is lit by some nice mood lighting. Cabin crew did come around to hand out these earbuds, Take That United. They worked very well for me with the in-flight entertainment, which I'll show later. They also have a pillow at every seat, but this one's got quite an interesting pattern on it, which I've never seen on any other airline. It's also quite big compared to other ones I've seen, which is good. There's also a pretty good quality blanket. British Airways has 31 inches of seat pitch on the A380, which makes for standard legroom. But be aware of column K in economy, as the IFE box down below does restrict some of the legroom. But in general, these seats are very comfortable. There is a power outlet for charging embedded in the seat, along with this remote. Looks to me like the in-flight entertainment can be controlled by this. Last time I saw one of these was on a Swiss A330, and while these seats are good in terms of comfort, their technology is somewhat outdated, and the effects of that will be present once I use the IFE later. This is a double extending tray table. I actually like these quite a bit. Seat pocket contents are basic. They include the safety card, of course, and they also have an air sickness bag. That's pretty much it. In a few minutes, we'll be leaving for our hop across the sea over to the UK, but before that, let's check out the in-flight entertainment. So one thing you should know is that this is a touchscreen, but the remote also works, and you can use that if you prefer it. But it's also important to note that these screens are extremely slow and unresponsive, probably because they're of the outdated model. But it was annoying for sure, and the content selection was pretty mediocre, especially for these days. The fact that I've seen more entertainment options on an American Airlines short-haul flight really says something. But it'll work for this 7-hour flight. For now, let's start up the engines and head over to London. I'm out!
Opening the doors automatically inflates the evacuation slides. High-heeled shoes must be taken off as they may tear the slide. Victoria D'Souza, the in-flight manager on this flight today, and it's a pleasure to welcome you on board.
Sometime after that, well, this happened. The in-flight entertainment system went down. I'm sorry, I would be lying if I didn't say I kind of expected this. Okay, that aside, let's take a look at the dinner meal. So there was a choice between two options. I forgot what the second one was, but I picked the tomato pasta. It looked quite promising at face value, and it's presented well in my opinion. The pasta looks delicious, and since I'm a huge pasta fan, naturally it tasted delicious. Better than what I had on Lufthansa last year. The meal also includes some butter, a water bottle, along with some quinoa salad and chocolate mousse for dessert. It also had a bread roll. Also, there was some cheese and crackers and some creamer. Yeah, this meal was definitely wonderful. Good job, British Airways. And right after I finished eating, well, they fixed the IFE. Good on them for that. Now I can show you all the flight map. For breakfast, we were given this hot ham and egg sandwich on an English muffin. It tasted good. I got it with an orange juice.
There's a light southerly breeze, some scattered cloud around the London area, nothing to affect us. Temperature is currently 8 degrees.
Hello everyone, as we are now approaching London Heathrow, the seatbelt signs will be switched on in approximately 20 minutes. To help us prepare for landing, please could you gather your personal belongings ready to be put away. For further information on your arrival at London Heathrow, please watch the on-demand video available on an emergency exit row or in our first and club roll cabins to place all items in the overhead lockers, leaving the floor. A very warm welcome to London Heathrow, Terminal 5, the home of British Airways. The local time here is 10:54 in the morning.
We are back in London. This would be my second time at this airport, and I'm arriving in style on board this jumbo jet. Speaking of which, British Airways genuinely impressed me with this aircraft type. The seats were amazingly comfortable, and nothing in economy can really beat the sense of space that's offered by the A380 Airbus. But not only did I love the aircraft, the food was another highlight to this experience, since the tomato pasta was tasty. Although I only went for a tea once on this flight, the flight attendants actually came around twice with a choice of coffee or tea, which was a nice gesture. But the cherry on top was the breakfast. I've never once seen an airline offer even a bit of a hot breakfast in economy class, but British Airways changed that. British Airways pretty much exceeds every single US carrier in terms of meals. In total, this flight was a gem. However, I have one big complaint, and it's regarding the in-flight entertainment. The selection of movies and TV was mediocre for a long-haul flight, and like I said, the screens were very laggy and unresponsive. And of course those pesky things stopped working for about 45 minutes or so, but at least the crew were able to fix them. I gotta give them credit for that. This brings us to my final score for British Airways Flight 296 O'Hare to Heathrow, 7.3 out of 10. I totally recommend flying on the A380 of British Airways. And I'm glad the airline brought the plane back after the pandemic, and it turns out that recently, Lufthansa did too. So if you want to fly on one of these, you still can.